Hello and welcome to Threadheads episode 5. We are going to be continuing with episodes 4's things, hence why I'm still wearing the same outfit. I'm recording on the consecutively same day because we still have 26 posts to get through. Plus, I found some posts from OP in episode 2's perspective that were deleted off her account that were archived. But yeah. Let us get started, shall we? Get right away? Because, we have a bunch to get into, and I am recording this on Thanksgiving Day, so if you guys hear noise in the background, that is family cooking, and can't really be helped. So, let us get started. Just a reminder, we will have a massive trigger warning for child abuse, grooming, domestic violence, rape, teen pregnancy, and suicide attempts and self-harm. Because this is M's side of the story and everything like that, please do not hate on her. She is 15. She was 14 when she got pregnant. Alright, so the first one for this episode is from the Am I Overreacting subreddit. She posted this on August 18th, 2025. Am I overreacting, or he won't just take no for an answer? For context, these texts are between me and my child's father. We're taking a break currently because of problems in our relationship. He's very controlling and can just be so mean it's hard to explain. But the breaking point was obviously him not liking me breastfeeding our baby. He's just like, it's borderline cheating, and also he threw something at me while I was holding our son, so we broke up for a good reason, and I've been trying to have a friendly co-parenting relationship up until it was working until last Friday. I saw someone from my past. It was my mom's ex-boyfriend that hurt me, and it triggered a lot, so I called him for help and helped take care of our son all day. And when he was supposed to leave, I didn't want to be alone, and we did the deed. Now he's been pursuing me to get back with him, and I feel awful because I didn't mean to lead him on, but I wasn't really in the headspace, and I just wanted to feel loved by someone. That's why I'm thinking I may be overreacting, because I did in a way lead him on unintentionally, but I do regret it. I even cried after we did, because it was a mistake. And the text messages are, honestly, it's wild that you still don't want to talk about the status of our relationship when we quite literally fucked Friday. I'm sorry for doing that with you, she says, and leading you on. I wasn't in the right headspace, honestly, and I'm still not, and that's why I don't want to talk about our relationship. He comes back with, can you pick up the phone? Like, why are you sending it to voicemail? She comes back with, because I know it's not going to be a conversation. You're just going to yell at me. Then he comes back with, because I know you want to get back together, but you don't want your homegirls to get mad at you when you should have never opened your damn mouth about our business anyways. But awesome to know that you value your friendship more than your son having a 2-parent household. Wonderful mother. 2 thumbs up emoji. She comes back with, oh my god, my friends have nothing to do with me not wanting to jump back into a relationship, and it has everything to do with our son and growing up in a somewhat normal environment. You have a temper that I need to see you actually work on. You need to actually go to those parenting classes like you said you were, but never did. Your temper genuinely scares me, blank, and I'm not saying that just to make you feel bad. When you get mad, I'm scared of you, and I don't want our baby to be scared of you too, or get anxiety early in life. He comes back with, why do you act like I'm this abusive maniac? The way you talk about our relationship, you would think I'm beating the crap out of you daily. And then she comes back with, well, what am I supposed to think when, and then she blanks out a bunch of the texts. I feel like you might be working your way into doing that to me. He comes back with, yeah, you're off your rocker, and that was the heat of the moment. From where I was standing, I didn't see you holding him. I thought he was in the swing. What? Okay, anyways. But I'm sorry, I really am. I won't do that again to you, and I honestly feel actually awful about it because I don't want to make you cry. She came back with, I want to think your apology is genuine, I really do, but I still need to see change from you, and honestly, right now, I'm just not in the space to be in a relationship. I haven't slept since I seen blank on Friday, and I've been having nightmares, so I feel like I'm losing sanity by the day if I don't rest. he came back with, "But that's why I'm here for you. You can lean on me, and I'll be there for you. I mean, this is how we fell in love the first time. We were vulnerable with each other. You're honestly the first girl I ever loved, Em. You make me feel like I'm a better person, and I don't want you to be scared of me. But it's because I love you, that's why I can be like this at times and not use my words. But I want to change and be better for you and blank." Sir? No? Like, how does he reconcile this with anything? Like, I love you so much, so I'm gonna throw something at you. Because if you remember from episode 2, that's where this all started, when OP's brother threw the inhaler at this OP. And so what she's saying here is that's why they broke up, because he threw the inhaler at her. And so, yeah, relative comments are, "Dude, he threw something at you. He's controlling. He thinks you feeding your child is cheating. Do not get back together with this abuser. It will only get worse. He threw something at her while she was holding the baby too. Dude ain't going to get any better. He claims he didn't know she was holding the child, but even if she wasn't, throwing something at her is still abuse. This is obviously abuse, OP. Please get away from it as early as possible. Everybody's telling her it's abuse." OP says, "I don't really want to think he would be capable of killing me, but everyone is right. I can ignore the signs. I just wish so badly he was different." Yeah. I think she means I can't ignore the signs, but, 15. Another comment was, "Oh, girly pop, you are not overreacting at all. In these texts, he's not only talking more about what's going on in your mind than you are, he's also correcting you when you try to voice your thoughts. This is called gaslighting. You are clearly stating you don't want to talk to him when he's angry and aggressive, and he's calling you a bad mom for setting firm boundaries that protect you and your child. It doesn't count as a two-parent household if one parent is emotionally regulated as a 2-year-old who throws all the toys out of the stroller every time something upsets him. A co-parent is called a co-parent because you need both parents to cooperate with each other. If he's not invested in having a friendly, platonic, safe relationship with you, it'll never work out." Well said. Next post is from the Mommet subreddit, and she posted it on August 19th, 2025. "My baby smiled at me while I was going through a mental crisis, but why do I feel so much better?" So, I've quite literally been having the worst summer, and mixed with postpartum, it's not been the best. I've been having issues with my mom regarding her sobriety, and how I'm basically a trigger for her. Then I've been having issues with my child's father. He's so controlling and mean, and to top it all off, I ran into my mom's ex-boyfriend that harmed me when I was in 7th grade. So it's been a lot of emotions I've been trying to cope with. But today, I woke up still just feeling so sad and helpless, and my grandparents are saints. They love to get up with him in the morning since they're already up that early. So I get to sleep in, so when I got up and greeted my baby, he was in his swing, and he actually looked at me and gave me a smile, and I thought that was just coincidence, but then I was changing him getting ready for the day. I usually talk to him about the daily agenda, and it seemed like he was actually listening to me, because he was staring at me the whole time I was changing him, and he smiled at me again. Then, just now, I'm not going to lie, I was honestly just sitting there feeling sorry for myself, and I was talking to him again, and he gave me a big smile that time. It felt like he knew I needed to see that, because it honestly made my entire week, honestly. He's only 7 weeks now, so I know it might not mean much, and I could be having some sort of psychosis since I haven't been sleeping since seeing my mom's ex because of bad dreams. But I don't know, I just wanted to share. I really don't feel like he knows I was his mom until today, and now I'm kind of speechless. That's cute. I just love babies. I just went to... The next post was from August 22nd, 2025. In the 2X chromosome subreddit. My mom's therapist is ruining our relationship. Me and my mom have been having issues due to her addiction and sobriety. So we've been doing family therapy, which I hate because I do think the therapist is biased, and it's constantly about what I'm doing wrong as a daughter. For example, this last session, my mom basically was saying how much it messed her up with the stuff that went on with me and her ex-boyfriend, that I didn't feel comfortable to talk to her about it, but I went to my brother and said about it. I didn't intentionally not tell my mom. I thought it was just games me and her ex were doing. I hated the games because he filmed them. Oh, but I remember getting prizes, which was like money or something I really wanted. So I told my brother in a way to just brag to him, not really processing that wasn't normal. She doesn't seem to understand that though. He was filming it. Oh, poor OP. Oh, don't cry. Then, most recently, I had my son with a guy she would have never approved of me being with. Me dating him was really the first time I really rebelled against her. I just wanted to be like a normal teenager all through middle school. I was seen as the Jesus freak with the strict mom no one wanted to deal with. So when I started high school, I wanted something different. So when I got with my child's father, he didn't care I had a strict mom and was okay with sneaking around. Looking back, she was probably right. When we started having sex, my first time was honestly traumatic. My mom never gave me the full talk, like intimacy. She wanted to wait to tell me until like my wedding night. So I went into my first time very clueless, and I just wanted to make my ex happy because I knew he wanted to do that. I didn't know it was going to hurt and bleed, but also be like intense and rough. It shouldn't be. I didn't even know what to do, just like lay there and hold my bear. I had to literally ask ChatGPT if I had sex or not because I wasn't entirely sure. I would have loved more than anything to just been able to go to her, but I knew if I did, she would probably not take it well and would have probably sent me into a troubled teen camp. I thought if I listened to her about keeping my son, it would help repair a relationship, but obviously it didn't. Despite all of this, I still do want a relationship with my mom. I do want her to meet my son, and I don't think she's a terrible person for struggling with addiction. I know she just really misses my dad, and so do I. But if she's telling me in therapy that basically this stuff's happening to me triggered her to relapse, I'm not sure how I'm able to, honestly. My grandparents are over her and want me to go no contact with her until she gets her stuff together, but I still love my mom. Is this salvageable? This one just makes even more heart-wrenching because you get more into her traumatic backstory. Not only did her boyfriend, baby daddy, record them having sex, mom's ex-boyfriend did so as well. And it shouldn't be traumatizing your first time. Like, no first time should be, and I quote, "When we started having sex my first time, it was honestly traumatic. My mom never gave me the full talk on like intimacy, and she wanted to wait to tell me until my wedding night. So I went in my first time very clueless, and I just wanted to make my ex happy. But because I knew that's what he wanted, it should be what you both wanted, OP, first and foremost. I didn't know it was going to hurt and bleed. It's the first time, but it's supposed to hurt at first, and then it's supposed to get comfortable. Bleeding because you broke you popped your cherry. But also, like, it was intense and rough. It should not be intense and rough your first time. That is not how it's supposed to be. And as your boyfriend, he knew it was your first time. He should have not done it like that. Relevant comments are, I think you should consider listening to your grandparents. Sometimes taking a step back and getting some space can help a relationship be stronger in the future. Another comment says, I agree. It doesn't have to be permanent, but avoiding contact until your mother has some sober months behind might be safest. Also, she's blaming you for the fact that you couldn't tell her ex was exploiting you after giving you zero information about sex ed or bodily autonomy. Plus, you're a kid, please. Her emotions are not your responsibility, and her therapist sounds like an enabler. Maybe ask to have a different non-church affiliated moderator in the future. But yeah, a lot of people are telling her it might be best to step back and listen to her grandparents. Another comment is, wait, she blames you because her ex was molesting you? The blame falls to her. She's your mother and is supposed to protect you. Steer clear of her. She's toxic. You have your own baby to raise now, and you're still so young, honey. You seem like you got a good head on your shoulders regardless of your situation with your mom and your child's father. Stay true to yourself because people will always disappoint you. I feel for you, and I hope things work out for you, sweetheart. Another person commented, and they quoted, lay there and hold my bear. It says, girl, I'm actually crying at this. I'm so sorry all the adults around you failed you. I'm sorry your mom couldn't handle your trauma and made you feel like she wasn't a supportive and safe person to turn to. I'm sorry that instead of being there for you when you needed her, she instead chose drug and alcohol to cope. I'm sorry your ex's mother helped groom you and allow her son to rape you. I'm sorry you have to go through all this. My heart is literally broken. I hope you can have a good life with your son. I really hope your future gets brighter and you don't deserve any of this. None of this is your fault. I feel bad for OP and she shouldn't have gone through this. Next post is from the parenting subreddit, posted August 23rd, 2025. What age do you let your baby leave overnight? I have an 8-week-old currently, and next weekend I was originally invited to go to my child's father's family's beach house for Labor Day weekend. Fun fact, I'm pretty sure my son was conceived there, lol. That's not a fun fact for me. It's still heartbreaking, but okay. Me and my child's father are no longer together, and I've been trying to create some distance with him because he's been borderline stalking me by hacking into my socials and has been begging to get back together, so being stuck with him for 3 days will just make things, I feel like, worse. I do have a good relationship with his mom and his sister that happens to be my best friend, but family in general I have no beef with. They gave me some great baby shower gifts. So now I'm faced, do I let my son go on the trip with me? I honestly have anxiety to be without him that long. He's not a formula baby yet. He's breastfed. I have somewhat of a supply that should last him 3 days. However, he's really sometimey with the bottle sometimes, and he would accept most of the time. He's just wants breast. So that's the main thing I'm really worried about when it comes to him, if he will eat or not. But my grandma said he will drink the bottle with her, so maybe he's just selective with me. Also, I'm just sad at the thought of being away from him, but his father's family have been there for me at my lowest, so I feel bad if I deprive time away from the baby because they were so excited. So let me know y'all's thoughts. I'm curious to know. I think they only invited you for the baby, to see the baby, if they're excited to see the baby. A lot of people are telling her absolutely not, 8 weeks is too young, and the family should know this. They were not thinking of what's best for you and your baby. And they're only thinking of themselves. Like I just said, they only wanted the baby. Anybody who protests her not wanting to be away from the baby is a grade A asshole, they said. One comment that stuck out to me was, hell no, 8 weeks is so young, and the father's being sketchy? Nope. If they're the ones pushing the idea to take him without you, they can kick rocks. That's insane. No, she wanted to know if the baby should go on the trip with her or not, because she has anxiety of not going without, or from being away from him. Next post is from the Am I Overreacting subreddit, posted on August 28th, 2025. Am I overreacting, or is my ex's mom downplaying what he did to me? These messages are between me, 15 female, and my child's father's mom. I've always had somewhat of a good relationship with his mom. She was known as my best friend's mom before my boyfriend's mom, and she was honestly the one that pushed us to date, oddly enough. No, OP, no. And she puts LOL after that. No, that's not funny. And she was there for me when my mom started to relapse and stepped in and helped me prepare for the baby, so these messages kind of hurt. Because I feel like she doesn't care what her son did, and I honestly saw her as a second mom, so I value her opinion a lot. But she just wants me back with him. In these messages, I didn't even touch on the stuff about what I already forgave him for, so to see her minimize what he did, it just makes me feel sad and more alone. But I've been extra sensitive since having the baby, so I'm not sure if I'm overreacting or if she genuinely wants to help. Am I overreacting? Ex's mom said, are you still on not joining us this weekend with the baby? OP responds with, yeah, I'm sorry. And then Ex's mom comes back with, I just feel like you're avoiding us. And also, you and the baby just stay at home all day. I just want the baby to know us. OP responds with, that's definitely not my intention. I love you guys. That makes me sad you guys feel that. And because I'm not trying to do that, I'm just trying to create distance between me and X. And I think me joining with the baby would not make the situation better, but worse. I don't know if he told you, but he desperately wants to get back together, and I feel like he would corner me into getting back together if I was there on y'all's family trip. The mom comes back with, can I ask why you don't want to get back together with X? What changed in the matter of weeks? It feels like you were so madly in love with him and talking about marrying him to just avoiding him completely. Ma'am, so glad you were arrested. OP responds with, I don't know what he said, but from my end, it's because I'm scared of him. He takes a lot of his frustration out on me. At first, I was able to just stay out of his way when I could tell he obviously is upset about something, but now it's like, it's just hard to explain, but it's because I'm scared of him and I need to protect my baby. Plus, he confessed to me he's jealous of the baby. The mom comes back with, has he hit you? Also, it's normal for new fathers to be jealous when the baby comes into the picture. You should offer him some grace, honestly, doll. OP responds with, well, I don't know if it's considered hitting me, but he was like grabbing me really hard to restrain me. That left a mark, and when I was over at your house that time, he threw something at me while I was holding baby because I asked him to bring me something while he was playing his game. I know these are minor, but I feel like those are red flags, and that he was working his way to start hitting me. Those are not minor. That's still assault. OP's mom comes back with, so he hasn't hit. I'm so glad she's arrested. She comes back with, so he hasn't hit you? Regardless, I want to apologize on his behalf. He should have known better. I didn't raise him to behave that way. I can talk to him about his behavior because it's unacceptable. I know my son and I promised he would never purposely hurt you. Like, honey, he adores you so much. He talks about wanting more kids with you and marrying him. He also said you're the prettiest girl he's ever dated, which I agree with. You're absolutely stunning. Opie responds with, if he feels that way, then why is he so mean to me? He knows I love him and would never cheat on him, so why does he treat me like I don't love him or that I've actually cheated on him? He calls me stupid, a whore, a bitch all the time, and I constantly overlook it. But now he knows calling me names doesn't bother me much anymore, and he knows how much I care about baby more than myself, so now he's using him to hurt me. Like him telling me I'm a bad mom hurts me. He even once told me during an argument that we should just call it a day and leave the baby at a fire station. I'm so glad this guy is going to jail. X's mom comes back with, honey, I'm so sorry. I had no idea he was treating you this poorly. My goodness, I'm in shock. I'm so sorry. He has had other girlfriends, so this is the first time I'm hearing this. But I think after hearing all this, you should still come to the trip because I still think it can be worked through. Ma'am, no. If you come, maybe we can all sit down and properly work through these issues, and then maybe Saturday night I can get you guys a hotel and you guys can bond alone while I watch the baby. I think she has some screws loose. I think y'all just need time to reconnect alone with the baby and just get back to the way you guys were before the baby. You don't have to give me an answer today, but really think about it. I don't want my grandbaby to miss out on having both his parents together over something this minor. It is not minor, ma'am. Relevant comments. Mother-in-law is an enabler. Not my son. Oh no. Yeah, deaf your son because that's how you raised him. OP comes back with, I honestly think the issue is she doesn't believe me, honestly. No, she helped him groom you. In my opinion. Another person commented to OP about X's mom not believing her. Trust me when I say she believes you. She just does not care. I'm 33, I have children, so I need you to understand I have an adult perspective as a mother here. The fact that her adult son entered into a sexual relationship with a 15-year-old girl, or were you 14 when it started, is enough to know the kind of person her son is. This woman is vile, and as a mother, I am physically repulsed reading these messages from her to you. I skimmed your profile, and I fully believe this woman is using the relationship she's built with you, knowing full well that you lack a strong relationship with your own mother, to manipulate you into a situation that she is fully aware is dangerous for you. You need to set aside whatever positive feelings or associations you have with this woman, because I promise you, she does not care for your well-being. No middle-aged woman in her right mind would offer to get a hotel for their adult son and an underage girl, especially after learning the information you just told her about her son's treatment towards you. She's poison, and so is your boyfriend, and they will drag you down until you're nothing more than a shadow of yourself. You've shown incredible strength thus far. Don't lose that. Stand firm, and honestly, in my opinion, police involvement is warranted given that what I've just read. I understand you're not ready to take that step, but at the very least, cut ties with this family as much as humanly possible. I'm kind of glad police got involved. Another person commented to her saying she would be on the news clutching her pearls saying, I had no idea he would ever do something like that when those red flags came home to roost. When I left my husband, the cops took him out of the house so I could disappear. Short version. He called everybody, including his parents, and they called me crying and saying I was breaking their hearts. Their son was extremely manipulative, abusive, and yes, physically violent. Your man is the way he is for a reason. It's not usually their stellar upbringing. I know there are some exceptions, great guy from a bad household, but they sound permissive, and when you say no, they will say you broke up the family. If you theoretically went to this sit down, you can fully expect that their son will have already said you're unstable, the baby's unsafe with you, you're dramatic, you're the one who's mean to him, and he tried so hard, trust me. There should be a bingo card for these guys' routines. It's predictable. You don't have to run away or anything, but definitely stand your ground on a very good decision of not going. Yeah. A lot of people are just like, At this point in the threads, everybody still believes baby daddy is 18 still, by the way. Next post is from the 2X chromosomes subreddit, posted on September 1st, 2025. I feel like I'm failing so hard at this mom thing. Last night, I, 15 female, had to give my son, male, 9 weeks, a late night feeding, and I was so tired, and I was like half asleep while I was fixing the bottle, and I was also holding him. I forgot to leave out the frozen breast milk before I went to bed, because what I usually do is leave the frozen breast milk in the sink before I go to bed to let it thaw out, so by the time it's time for his late night feeding, it's completely melted, and the only thing I got to do is to heat up a bowl of water and let the pouch sit in there for a little while I usually change him. But I forgot to leave it out before I went to bed. I ended up putting the frozen pouch in the water and heating it up in the microwave for like 2 minutes. I'm such an idiot because I didn't even check if the milk was too hot. He was already fussing at me, and I was in a rush to quiet him down because I didn't want him to wake the rest of the house, and I just got the bottle in his mouth, and the way he jolted almost out of my arms is something I will probably never forget. Oh, poor mama. She is so sleep deprived. It sometimes happens. You're not the only one, I promise. He let out one of the worst cries I've ever heard him do. I'm so upset at myself, and I feel like I betrayed him in a way. I was crying all night because I feel so awful about it, and my grandma has told me it's a mistake and that I shouldn't take it so hard. I wanted to take him to the hospital, but my grandma also told me it wasn't necessary since I was able to calm him down and he fell back to sleep while I was breastfeeding him. But he's been fussier than usual, and I'm so worried about him because he doesn't want to suck on his pacifier today. Makes me think he's hurting. And I just feel like I'm failing so bad. I really don't have experience with babies prior to getting knocked up. A lot of my knowledge is from YouTube videos and honestly Reddit. My grandma tries her best to teach, but her knowledge is very outdated because the last time she had a baby was 48 years ago, so some of the things she recommends are now proven to actually be bad, so I have to do additional research every time she says something I have to fact check. I still have a hard time swaddling him. He's always breaking out of it. Then I'm also coming to terms with my son will probably not have a dad in his life. My ex, 19 male, is jealous of him, so that's beating me up a lot. My dad died when I was 10, but I still have so many great memories of him, and I'm sad he'll probably not have that same experience, which kills me. I just have a lot of guilt and feelings like a bad mom. Well, she's getting closer to his right age in this post. There's only 2 comments, so I'll read them on this post. First comment is, girl, you're 15. Adults who are in their 20s and 30s struggle with this. You are likely doing fine. Just be there for your child, support them, love them, do your best and ask for help. If not from your own parents, then trusted adults. If not from them, your local community will have reach outs. People will help and people want to help. You just have to ask. Also, be generous with yourself. You're allowed to make mistakes. And the other comment is, seriously, be kind to yourself. Do the best you can and don't be afraid to ask for help. Sometimes, few, if any, people can do it alone. The fact that you're worried about failing your son is a good sign because it means you truly care. She also posted it in the Mommet subreddit and got some more comments. Some relevant comments are, oh honey, I wish I could hug you. It's okay, you're doing fine. If he's eating normally, you have nothing to worry about. Just keep doing your best and loving him. You'll get there. You'll get better at all of this with practice. Another person said, girl, I'm 32, married and have 2 kids, and I'm still doing stupid shit like this. Baby is fine. Live and learn. And then a teen mom comments on here. Hey, another teen mom here, 19. I get not feeling like you know anything right now, but it's okay. Things to remember. Never microwave breast milk or formula. Will create hot spots and burn baby. Breast milk is good at room temp for 4 hours. Good as leftover from feeding for 2 hours. and good in the fridge for up to 4 days. If you're unsure of your baby's health, it is best to contact their pediatrician. Everyone makes mistakes, even seasoned moms. Somebody else commented, also to add to this, it's safe in the freezer for up to 6 months, arguably longer, but there's some suggestions that the nutritions might degrade after that point, so 6 months is a safe bet. If you accidentally defrost breast milk or lose power with the freezer, it's safe to refreeze as long as it still has even one ice crystal left in it. I did not know that, so good to know. OP, can I gently suggest you don't leave your milk out overnight? For the reasons this other commenter has said, it's okay to just leave frozen milk in the fridge to defrost, but best not to leave a room temperature overnight because of the risk of bacteria growth, or you can take the bag of frozen milk straight out of the freezer and defrost it by putting it in some hot water. These subreddits are so insightful. I did not know you can freeze or refreeze breast milk if you lose power. Another comment was, you're not a bad mom. I was convinced I should take my daughter back to the hospital where she would be safe when she was 3 days old and I was 33 years old. Your job for the next little while is to practice taking deep breaths, lean on the support that you have. You tell yourself that you are a marvelous mom, your baby's best and truest hope for a beautiful life, a woman who can stand tall and learn a success in the making. You speak to yourself the way you would speak to your dear darling child. No, I'm not stupid. I'm really tired. I love the way I remembered to thaw some milk to make it easier. I can't be perfect, but I can be good enough. You don't have to beat yourself up. Babies are built strong enough to survive their parents. I'm proud for you. Next post is in the Too Hot Takes subreddit, posted September 4th, 2025. Am I the asshole for telling my mom no? My mom recently got out of rehab to treat her addiction with alcohol and opioids. This is the second time my mom has been in treatment for the span of 3 years, so it's been emotionally hard on me, the person who saw her relapse, that had to tell the family about it, and my grandparents, who have been paying for her treatment, then also having to take guardianship of me because I'm a minor, still 15 female. I recently had my son, 9-week male, and she was a big advocate to keep my baby and to not have an abortion. She promised she would help me and be there for me, and also I didn't want her to be mad at me for having an abortion. Spoiler, she let me down and relapsed when I was 30 weeks, and I wanted her so badly to get it together so she can be at the birth, but it got to the point that I was worried about leaving her alone. So she missed the birth of my son. My grandma took her place, but I was crying and begging my grandma while I was in labor to get her there. She hasn't met my baby since she's been away at treatment, but now she's out. She wants to meet him, and I don't think I'm ready to let her meet him yet. He's the most important person to me in my life, and I don't want him to ever see my mom the way I have, or let alone get attached to her just to be let down by her. So, for the first time, I had to tell my mom no, and I feel so badly about it. She cried when I told her no and made it seem like I see her as a monster, which I don't. I forgave and still love my mom, and I'm not trying to punish her by keeping him away. I just need to see actual change. My grandparents, which are her parents too, are kind of just over her at this point and are mad at her for adult things they tell me. But I honestly think it's because of the church, because they are not big fans of it. But I also told them about the family therapy sessions with her, where she said I caused her to start drinking after the stuff her ex-boyfriend did to me came out. But they support whatever decision I make when it comes to her. But yeah, they can honestly be careless when it comes to her and want space from her. But am I doing too much by not letting her see the baby, or am I making the right choice? Again, I never had said no to my mom, so it feels weird. One of my brothers thinks I'm being an a-hole because my mom was apparently really excited to meet the baby, and that's what encouraged her to get better. So am I? I don't think you're the asshole in this opinion, but I would want to see change too. And then she posted a day later in the Am I Overreacting subreddit. So September 5th, 2025. Am I overreacting, or does my mom only want to meet my son for the wrong reasons? I want to ask for advice before I reply to her with something disrespectful. For context, these messages are between me, 15 female, and my mom, 49 female. She was in treatment for close to 3 months for her addiction to alcohol and opioids. She missed my child's birth and basically just left my grandparents to take over guardianship with me. She's upset that I told her I wanted her to wait to meet my baby. I want to see genuine change in her, and now it just seems like she's going back to her old ways, which is just a lot to deal with. This is her second time relapsing. The first time she relapsed because I guess she couldn't handle hearing what her ex-boyfriend did to me, and this recent one is her finding out I was pregnant. She has told me I'm a trigger to her alcohol use, which made me feel horrible about myself, so that's why I'm very cautious about restarting a relationship with her. I feel like she honestly doesn't want to meet him, but to one-up my ex-boyfriend's 19 male's mom, 45 female, the story behind her beef with her is that basically my ex's mom allowed me and him to date and not tell my mom about it. She allowed us to be alone and she allowed me to sleep in his room when I would sleep over. Meanwhile, my mom was under the impression that I was sleeping over to hang out with my best friend and had no idea about the relationship. Plus, her and my mom were really close friends, so she just felt lied to and betrayed by her, I guess, which understandable. She hyped up the relationship the entire time. It's really difficult telling my mom no. This is the first time actually telling her no. I love her and I don't want her to think I don't or that I'm holding resentment. My grandparents are kind of over her. I mean, they're paying for her rehab and they had taken over guardianship over me and my baby, so they're obviously annoyed with her, but they want me just to ignore her and focus on school and raising my baby, but still kind of feel like I'm doing my mom wrong by not letting her see him, but I just don't want her to hurt him like she has hurt me so many times, so am I overreacting? I don't think so, OP. Let's read these messages. Her mom messages her with a picture of a post and says, "You see, posts like this hurt me, Em. It's not fair to me. That woman and her son, that's a pervert, is responsible for this mess, and I'm the one not allowed to see my grandson. I'm beyond hurt by you. You're my daughter. Not there it feels like they stole you from me." I think it means not fair, but okay. OP responds with, "Mom, I'm not in control of what she decides to post. I'm really not trying to hurt you or punish you. I never said you couldn't see him. I just said you should focus on your outpatient stuff before I let you see him." Her mom responds with, "I don't care because my feelings are valid and you're being evil for this." OP responds with, "Mom, it hurts me that you're calling me evil for just simply giving you boundaries. I don't want to make you feel awful because I'm happy that you were able to finish your treatment and I want you to be better. But Mom, you have let me down multiple times and I don't want you to let him down." Her mom responds with, "He's a baby? ? Even if I did relapse, which I'm not planning to, he would certainly not remember it. You say it isn't a punishment, but here you are using the past on why I can't see him, but you let this woman see him." OP then responds with, "Do you know how scared I was when I was in labor? I thought I was going to die, and I also was so scared of the idea of me being a mom. I was screaming and crying, begging Granny to get you there, and you never came, Mom. I thought it didn't hurt me, but it really did, Mom. Every time the nurse told me we had a visitor, I always would hope it would be you coming around the corner, and you never did. I promised him in that moment that I won't ever do what you did to me." Her mom responds with, "I already apologized to you. I'm sorry, but I want to be here to support you now. ? Why are you question marking that? That should count for something. He needs to be around good people, not those people on his dad's side." OP responds with, "Do you just want to see him because his dad's side already saw him? This is what I mean, Mom. I don't think you want to see him for the right intentions, but to win a fight with X's mom." Her mom comes back with, "That's not true. Don't put words in my mouth, Em. You know what makes me mad. I'm referencing them to point out your hypocrisy with these little boundaries. I'm your mother. You get no boundaries with me." She does get boundaries with you because it's her baby. Some relevant comments. Somebody quoted, "You don't get to have boundaries with me," from the text message. This is a very clear message. She's not sorry. She's not committed to changing, and she's not interested in taking accountability for the pain she caused you. If she were, she would understand boundaries are essential, especially with recovering addicts. And then somebody responds with, "Yes, that sentence that leaped off the page for @MeOP. You must create and keep strong, firm boundaries with your mother, including periods of complete no contact every time she tries to bulldoze over them. Listen to your grandparents, focus on school, and being the kind of mom to your baby that your birth mom has not been to you." Yeah, a lot of the people are saying, don't let your mom see this baby. Somebody commented, "All feelings aren't valid. In fact, many are shitty and awful and need to be suppressed. Our culture is toxic for acting like every feeling needs to be acknowledged and addressed. They don't. In OP's mom's case, her feelings are envy and jealousy have been ignored and silenced. Somebody commented, all feelings are valid in that they are real, they exist. However, not all feelings are justifiable or even appropriate. All feelings are valid, all behavior is not. Another person commented to that one, my therapist once told me that we are allowed our feelings no matter what, yet how we act on them is the most important part. To me, part of the action we must take is figuring out why we feel the way we do, at minimum, when it's strong emotion, to decide from there. If we skip the process of sorting our feelings, we are more likely to behave badly and hurt someone, which includes not just ourselves but others. I also believe if we don't sort our feelings, we're less likely to consider how someone else feels. OP's mom is focused on what she thinks she's owed. She needs to stop and think about why she feels that. And a therapist goes, as a therapist, I agree. All feelings are valid, but you don't have to act on them. This is an excuse for bad behavior. So mom's feelings are valid, but she's invalidating her daughter's own feelings. And the moment she said OP doesn't get to have boundaries with her because she's her mother, she can't be trusted to have or even want to change. Next post is from Am I Overreacting? And it's from September 15th, 2025. Am I overreacting? By believing that X has something to do with his friends harassing me. So, I was stupid, and when me and my ex were together, he convinced me to let him film while we were intimate a couple of times. I was being a bit of a pick-me at the time, and I had just lost my virginity to him, so I was really invested in him, and I didn't want to do it intentionally because I knew if it got out, I could probably never go to college or get a professional job. He convinced me by saying he would not let something leak that he is also in because it could ruin his life too, and that it would do wonders for our relationship because at this point we were doing it a lot. It was getting exhausting being at social gatherings and getting texts from him from across the room to meet him in the bathroom to help him, and then if I slept over, he rarely just let me sleep, and it would be a minimum of 2 rounds. So I thought making those videos would just give me a break, but spoiler, it didn't. He still requested intimacy all the time, and I was pathetic, always giving in because I wanted him to still like me. This poor girl. I think he showed his friends those videos because when I was walking the halls at school today, I had to walk past them, and I kid you not, they just stopped and stared at me, and the stares they were giving me felt very creepy, like they were looking me up and down, and they started calling my name. But I just looked forward and pretended I didn't hear them, and once they figured I was ignoring them, they said, "Oh, boo, you stuck up, bitch. X showed us how you get down, don't act all innocent," and they erupted in laughter, and it was 7 of them. I shouldn't let that get to me, but I cried in the bathroom and felt humiliated. It made me feel horrible about myself. I tried to hear in these texts to confront my ex about it, and he's still lying to me. His friend group has always been weird to me. When me and my ex were dating, they would ask me to do dirty things to him in front of them, or my ex would joke around with me and say he can't leave me alone around them. Looking back, I thought he was joking, but I think he was dead serious because he never did leave me alone with them. Am I overreacting, or is my postpartum making me going insane? No, absolutely not. The text messages from OP's ex. I honestly think the whole thing is in your head. I didn't show them anything. OP responds with, "This is exactly what you do. You gaslight me into thinking something isn't true, and that I'm making it up, and then you later confess to me that it wasn't in my head. I can't believe I trusted you not to show anyone that. But you win, X. You freaking win. What would it take for you to stop torturing me? There's no other guys I'm seeing. You made me scared to even look at another boy. I have no friends. My mom practically hates me because I got knocked up by you. My life already sucks. Why are you committed to making it worse? I'm the mother of your child, and you have so little regard for me." He responds with, 2 hours later, mind you, he responds with, "That's why I say you're tripping, 'cause you're the mother of my child. I wouldn't do that to you. They're just being dicks because they know I want to get back with you, and you're the one preventing that." She comes back with, "What's the goal here, X? Is it to bully me until I agree to start dating you again, or is it just to break me emotionally, which you have done already? You won that." He comes back with, "Again, I really think it's all in your head." 2 laughing, crying emojis. I didn't leak shit. I think he did. But that's just my opinion. Relevant comments are, if you're 15, it doesn't matter if you're concerned or not. Your ex made child porn. If he showed it to his friends, he distributed child porn. Go to the cops. Now. Another person said, please also talk to the school counselor and emphasize he's an adult and you're not, and your mom is mad you're pregnant from grape. She put a grape emoji. And that he's distributing porn and you're being harassed, etc. Also report it to the police, and hell, maybe talk to CPS if your mom is blaming you, cause what the fuck? OP responds with, wouldn't I be in trouble too since I agreed to be filmed? No, that's not how it works. At 15, you're not even of the age of consent. This would be a massive shitstorm for him. You're already suffering the emotional consequences of this, and you won't have to suffer legal repercussions too. The state will see you as being taken advantage of. In fact, since he's 19 and you're only 15, this is statutory rape. Somebody commented, it's not even statutory rape at 15 if he's 19, it's just rape of a child. Somebody goes, statutory rape is literally child rape. And then somebody commented, OP's first post says he's 17, and then somebody else commented, yes, because he forbade her from saying his real age. In another post, her friend gave the real age gap, almost 5 years. And then somebody goes, I'm not buying it. And then she comments saying, she's telling the truth. He's 19 and I'm 15. I know it's wrong to lie about it, but it was just habit I developed through the time because he would get on my case if I said his actual age. But I promise I'm not lying about anything else, just that. And I was 14 when I got pregnant and he was 18. We didn't start flirting with each other until I started high school. I don't think he was grooming since I was 9, like my friend said. This is one of OP's comments. I don't know how to link to the mobile. Yeah. So they started dating when he was 17 and she was 14. And in their state, their consent age is 16. Legal consent is 16. It's still statutory rape. Next post is from 2X Chromosomes on September 17th, 2025. I wish my kid looked more like me. I'm from a small town that's kind of considered to be in the middle of nowhere. With that being said, the folks here are really on the conservative side of things and just go with the idea of what type of town I live in. There are people here that fly the Confederate flag still. I'm biracial, half white, half black, but I'm mostly presented as black, so I see myself as that. I'm currently living with my grandparents, and they're from my mom's side, so they are white, and I have a son also that I'm practically the primary caregiver for. My son's father is also fully white, so my son obviously looks white. My son is 75% white and only 25% black. You would think people in my town understand basic biology, but nope. Since I had him, a lot of strangers feel the need to come strike up conversations with me and just ask so many questions that are either just so very microaggressive or just plain arrogant. I remember someone straight up told me that they didn't think he's mine and that I stole him from someone. It didn't help that my baby is at the age of being extremely nosy and looks at these people before they even approach us, and he smiles back at literally anyone. But yesterday, I went up to the mini market up the road, and this older clerk was chatting with me, and of course the conversation went to, you guessed it, to my son. He's familiar with my baby daddy, I guess, and I guess he was surprised by the age gap between me and him. But he closed off the conversation with, that's okay though. You know, back in my day, we just called it him taking back what was once his. And he said it with a smile, so I just awkwardly laughed along. I honestly didn't know what he meant by that in that moment. So when I went home and told my grandmother about it, and she gasped and got very upset by that, and wanted my grandfather to take her to the store and force him to apologize to me. I begged her not to do that, because from previous experiences, it just made it worse or more hostile. I kind of understand now what it means. I don't know if I can repeat it, but I understand why Grandma was upset. But honestly, growing up here, I kind of just became used to hearing ignorant stuff. So I tried to just stay quiet and just blend in and not attract too much attention to myself. And it used to work for a long time. But since I hit high school and got my braces off, I feel like I'm just constantly targeted and grabbing attention when I'm not trying to. I remember I used to ask my mom not to have my dad come to my school events because my classmates would call him a monkey or like a gorilla, and it just was so mean. Honestly, it hurt me way more than anything they ever said to me. Ironically enough, Those same classmates were at his funeral, but my biggest fear is if I don't leave my town, my son will get embarrassed of me or go through that too. This poor girl. See, I have no idea what that guy meant. So, I'm just gonna leave that there. I won't comment much on it, but I understood the monkey and the gorilla comment because I've heard racial jokes before. They're not funny. They never will be funny. But, yeah. The next post is from True Off My Chest and was posted September 29th, 2025. Just found out my mom lied to me about my dad's side. I, 15 female, am kind of still processing that my mom was lying about my dad's side the entire time, and that they actually didn't hate me, but have been trying to get in contact with me for years. This all started because the other day I was thinking about a cousin from my dad's side, and I found her on Facebook, and I sent her a friend request. Shortly, they all started adding me, according to them, but I haven't asked my mom, but I'm leaning towards my dad's side is telling the truth. For context, my dad, he's black, and my mom, she's white, and I haven't seen my dad's side since he passed away like 5 years ago. What I was told by my mom is that my dad's side didn't like the fact that I was half white and didn't think my mom was raising me right without my dad. From my aunt on my dad's side, she told me they were trying to have it so I could come spend summer with them in Florida because I guess before my dad passed, he was worried about me being like the only black girl in my grade and that all my friends were white and that would have been some sort of identity crisis. Plus, they thought my mom was exploitive because I did pageants growing up, which I personally didn't hate. I thought it was fun. What they told me, what made my mom go no contact, is when they found out her ex-boyfriend moved in after 5 months of them dating, they thought it was a red flag and gave her shit for it, and she blocked them all shortly after. I don't think I had the heart to tell them that their opinions on my mom's ex-boyfriend was right, because he did do things to me. They were already devastated about me having a baby already at my age, and going through childbirth without my mom, because she was too drunk to get out of bed. They kept asking me, did she force me to have him? And I didn't think she forced me to have him because I love my son and I didn't want him to think he ruined my life. My mom made it clear she wasn't okay with me having an abortion, and she kind of made it seem if I seeked one out of state, she would punish me, so I didn't even bother. I haven't told them about the situation with my baby daddy, 19 male, because me and him have been getting along and are likely finally in a good place. I want a relationship with them, but I don't want to upset my grandparents and my mom. There's no side of the family that I really prefer over the other. I love them both equally. But me and my mom are already in a bad place, and I don't want to make our relationship worse, but I would like to know why she kept them from me. Because they told her that mom's boyfriend was going to do something to you, and she didn't believe them and blocked them, and he did something, and now she feels horrible. I hope she feels horrible, but anyways. Next post is from the Mommet subreddit, and it was posted September 30th, 2025. Suddenly getting hit on way more than I ever did now that I have a baby, ? So today it was really warm where I live, and I decided to take my baby out to get some fresh air. I live in the country, so there's no sidewalks in some parts, so you kind of have to walk on the side of the road on a couple of routes I take. I walked these routes many times and never had an issue, but I kid you not, after today, it would have made the third time someone had tried to hit on me / pick me up from the side of the road, and it's only when I have my son either attached to me or in his stroller. Or I don't know, me becoming a mom has made me paranoid and that I'm hyper aware of stuff, but I'm not a very big person, so it makes me afraid of the idea of what the hell I'd do if someone tries to take me or my baby. Could I really fight them off? And I don't want to find out the answer. But again, this wasn't really an issue before I had my son, but now it just feels like every outing of just me and my baby, I'm getting some men hitting on me. Am I alone in this? Some relevant comments are, I've gotten hit on a few times at our mall walking around. I got a 1-year-old and I'm pretty heavily pregnant, so I'm always shocked by the interest or comments. It's always dads who look quite a bit older than I am, and oddly, it's been when their older children are nearby. I always assume it's just getting hit on before, but now there's a different group of men interested who see we have a parenting in common. I also get hit on much more often when pregnant though, and other moms I know have said that it's happened to them too. Maybe some weird biological thing. I wouldn't say more or less, maybe just that the group of men attracted to women with children are a bit more confident and bold if they're older. Or they have a mommy kink. I don't know why I went there. Another comment is, out of curiosity, what are they saying? I'm trying to imagine the scenario where someone's hitting on me or trying to pick me up on the side of the road with my baby wouldn't immediately make me think I'm about to be kidnapped. I'm coming up blank. Another comment was, I don't mean to be rude, but it's possibly likely that they are concerned about the baby on the side of the road, not necessarily sexual attraction. She said she's being hit on, not people are talking to me or my baby is getting a lot of attention. Next post is from Am I Overreacting? And it was posted on October 1st, 2025. My baby daddy has a new girlfriend. I don't know her, but I've seen her at parties when me and him were together. At most, we were acquaintances. She used to take me under her wing at these parties because of just how much older everyone else was. Me and him, though, were on good terms, but his new girlfriend went through his phone and found stuff, I guess, tying to me. I don't want to fight, nor ever been in a fight, so I'm really nervous that she really means it. This girl is scary too. She does CrossFit and she's been arrested for assault before. So she can beat my ass, so again I'm scared. My grandma's trying to get the police involved, but since she hasn't made any physical contact with me, there's nothing they can do. I don't even know what I did to deserve her anger, I haven't done anything with him in over a month, and they just started dating 2 weeks ago. Am I overreacting? Or should I be on high alert? I don't know what to do. She doesn't go to my school, so they can't do anything there. I feel like such a wimp, and I'm afraid of this girl, but she has stopped replying to me, which is just me pleading with her. The next post is from What Do I Do? She posted it twice, different title each time. So the first title is actually I'm Currently Being Bullied, posted October 3rd, 2025. And then the second title is I'm Getting Exposed and I Don't Know What to Do, posted the same day, October 3rd, 2025. So I don't know if it's even considered textbook bullying, but I feel extremely ganged up on right now. I have my ex's new girlfriend on a witch hunt for me and wants to hurt me, and I don't know what I even did that would make her believe I overstepped the relationship, but I don't want to fight her at all. I know my ex is behind these targeted attacks because I don't want to get back together with him, so he's been punishing me and he won't stop nor leave me alone. He has his male friends at school harassing me and now his new girlfriend and her friends after me. I swear he's trying to drive me to end my life, and I'm really close to just doing it. Every day it's something else I want it to stop. Before the just go to the police, I fucking did. They don't care and told me they think I'm antagonizing him, and I told them he's showing sexual videos of me to his friends and new girlfriend, and they told me they searched his phone already and they don't see the videos I'm describing to him on his phone. At that point, I didn't want to continue talking to them because they have their minds made up, which is I'm being overdramatic. His new girlfriend posted an exposed thread of me on her Snapchat story. She had clips of a Discord call. This first clip, I'm sitting next to my ex and his friends were asking me very dirty, invasive questions to see what me and my ex have done already. I don't even know majority of the things they were asking, and I was just looking to my ex for the answers, and they were hyping me up, calling me the best girlfriend, and that my ex was so lucky. I jokingly said I was gonna flash them to get a reaction out of my ex. Convincingly, the video cuts off before I said I was kidding. In the second clip, I wasn't really aware I was being recorded, nor that my ex was on an active call. He had his headphones on, but in this clip, I was trying to leave his room and go back to hang out with his sister. He kept pulling me from the door and he started to tell me he needed help and had me sit on his lap. I'm not trying to get this post taken down, but when a guy is in the mood, that's what I was feeling when I was on his lap. I didn't know he was basically giving his friends a nod on the call that we were going to do a couple stuff, but I wasn't aware the mic was on and it picked up the whole interaction. Her last post was what kind of made me have a meltdown, which was she wrote, "That completes my expose. Homegirl needs intense therapy. And I say that with love because honestly, the reason she craves male validation so badly is because she misses when her mom's boyfriend used to touch her on her. Everyone in town knows why she stays with grandparents and why her mom hates her. That really hurt and humiliated me, and I initially read it because I never once liked what my mom's ex was doing to me. The only way she would know about that is if my ex told her, because I told him about it. But that's what brought me here to cry on Reddit for the 1000th time. When I first dated my ex, he told me he would never hurt me or let me feel like I did when my mom's ex was hurting me, and I believed him. He was the only person I thought genuinely cared about me and protected me. Now he's doing everything to just hurt me. I have thought about just getting back with him so I can have his protection again. I'm not going to, but it's crossed my mind. I just don't know what to do. I just really want to be left alone, honestly. That's heartbreaking. Some relevant comments are, you need to march down to the police station with your grandparents and file a petition and distribution of child pornography charge now. Statutory rape charges now, and harassment charges now. Be pushy, tell them exactly what you want to file, and bring printed screenshots of your proof that he's been showing your sexual videos and sexual content around, and that the girlfriend is pushing you to being near suicidal. Then file a protective order / BO contact order for both of them. I hope she listens to this advice. I doubt it, but I hope I'm wrong. A lot of people are telling her to go to the police, even though she said she has. But yeah. One comment says, well, we have been telling you for ages to stop interacting with him, and you spent the night with him in his room just the other day. That's why his girlfriend is angry. That's fairly logical. Just stop any contact with him. There's absolutely no reason you want your son near him. Don't answer his messages. Cut all contact. And if you are capable, forget social media. It will only hurt you. And really, go see a therapist. Your life is just complicated for you to untangle everything on your own. Somebody else comments to that saying, I fully agree with you. Please remember she's only a child herself, though. She's so young. She's only 15 and a mother, and she doesn't seem to have anyone in her support group. We have to give her some grace. She's still growing up. She has her grandparents, though. Granted, they're older, but I honestly think she needs to, since she just got back into contact with her father's side of her family, she needs to tell them what's going on and all that. And maybe they can take her down to Florida. It's not as backwards as her small town is, apparently. Who would have thought? Next post is from 2X Chromosomes, posted October 22nd, 2025. Was recently discharged from a behavioral health facility and don't feel the same. Actually, I feel like a robot. I'm really trying to follow my care plan, but I'm just so confused with everything still. About 2 weeks ago, I, 15 female, had an attempt. It was just like a lot going on in my life, and it was like a lot for me to deal with. I don't really want to die, just for everything to stop. But while I was in the hospital, I found out I was pregnant again. I didn't even really process it. I just got an abortion pill while I was there. So I went through that while I was in the center I was forced to stay at. I did not have a good experience there. It made me feel so insane. The doctors or nurses or whoever they were, I felt like they were always trying to provoke me so I would stay longer. I wasn't allowed to see my son that's 4 months old, or even have a picture of him because of their damn policy. My grandma visited me and I cried to her about how bad it felt to not see my baby. And she did break a rule about her having a phone and FaceTime my grandpa and have him show me my baby. I was punished for that in there, so I wasn't allowed visitors for a few days and was literally isolated in my room and wasn't allowed to watch TV or interact with the other girls that were also there. So towards the end of my stay, I just started lying to get out and basically manipulated the psychiatrist to clear me for discharge. I feel bad for doing that because I do want to get better, but it was just horrible in there. So now I feel like they didn't give me the proper medication because I was lying. They put me on like 3 different medications and I just don't feel like myself anymore. My brain moves slowly now, like it's ridiculous how long it took for me to type this. It's like I'm drunk and I want to be better. I really do, and I'm afraid if I complain about it to my family, they're going to think I'm rejecting the help, which I'm not. I feel like I can't even take care of my son effectively because of this issue, and it's stressing me out because since I've been in the hospital, I feel like he's fallen behind on his milestones. And there are some comments. Somebody commented, "Hey OP, it sounds like you're going through a lot right now. Do you have someone in your life to look after your baby? I know it's hard, but your mental health needs to be your number one priority. When you're on a plane and there is an emergency, you have to put your own oxygen mask on first. Your top priority should be finding a psychiatrist you trust. You can be honest with them about your symptoms, and they will work with you on your medications to make sure they help and don't leave you feeling like a robot. It's a long road ahead. Just take it one day at a time. Somebody else said, I have also been in a care facility like you're describing at 14 for like a week. Trust me, I understand the feeling all too well. It honestly feels like you're in jail. Everything is scheduled and it's forced therapy sessions. But looking back, I realized the reason why I hated it was because for the first time in my life, I had structure that I wasn't able to bend. I wasn't used to that. They started with me on a lot of medications, feeling that robotic feeling you're talking about. But I'm sure you have an outpatient psychiatrist you will have to meet with and be honest what you're feeling. A good psychiatrist would not want to overprescribe you. I mean, their licenses are on the line. Also, if you would like to share what you were diagnosed, anything new. If you were still in the beginning stages of finding your prescription, this is normal. OP responds with, Hi, yes, I forgot. I do have an appointment with my psychiatrist next week, but I was just officially diagnosed with postpartum depression and CPTSD. I was already diagnosed with anorexia, but when I was there for the first few days, I wasn't eating, so they restarted my treatment for that. So a lot of people were telling her to go talk to her psychiatrist when she gets an appointment, and don't lie to the psychiatrist and tell her how she feels. Next post is from the Too Hot Takes subreddit, posted on October 24th, 2025. Update, I'm meeting up with my mother tomorrow. I don't know if it's my body telling me something, but I'm so nervous to see my mom tomorrow, and she's gonna meet my son for the first time also. I think a small part of me wants her approval still, and I know that's wrong, but it's a habit. We started talking again while I was in the hospital, and she did seem different in a positive way. But I'm also wondering, do I ask my mom something regarding my ex? He was recently arrested, and my whole life, I feel like is being closely looked at, and I don't enjoy feeling like everyone knows everything about me. I really don't like attention, and the cops are constantly coming by my house and lecturing me. But the other day, I guess, they found something that shows my ex sending money to my mom. I honest to God have no idea why he was giving her money. But what I personally think is my mom was an addict, and my ex just did drugs at parties, but stopped when he was trying to get enlisted for the military. So I personally believe he might have just bought from my mom. The cops aren't pleased with this answer and just started asking me questions like if my mom instructed me to do things with him, like I was being sold for sex, which I know my mom, she wouldn't do that, and I kinda want to give her a heads up about it and also know why. But I just don't want to trigger her because she becomes so intense when she feels like I'm accusing her or she feels like I'm leaving her out of something. I just don't want this meeting to end up with me crying at the end of it because I do want a relationship with her. Update. She stood me up, and I was sitting at an ice cream parlor for 2 hours waiting for her. Relevant comments. You do realize you don't have to talk to the police, right? You have a right to remain silent, even when you aren't charged with anything. Yes. People forget the right to remain silent isn't only for when you're arrested, it's for any time law enforcement starts asking questions. Another comment said, a friend of mine who used to do appellate work told me to never speak to the police without an attorney present. I'm passing her wisdom along to you. It's not wrong to want your mother's approval. It's natural, even in a situation like yours. Hell, my mom's been dead for a year and a half and forgot about me the entire 4 years before that. I still crave her approval. You also know that your mother is kind of messed up and you aren't evaluating yourself by her standards anymore. These can both be true at the same time. The next post is from the Am I Overreacting subreddit, posted the next day on October 25th, 2025. Am I overreacting by being upset my mom stood me up? This all happened because me and my mom reconnected while I was in inpatient care. I really thought she had changed because we had a heart-to-heart, and she basically let me know she never blamed me for the stuff that happened with her ex, and that she loved me and I'm still her perfect girl, which at the time it really helped me while I was there, because I thought my mom hated me because of that situation. So we started talking again after that, but today was supposed to be the day she was going to meet my son for the first time, and she stood me up. I thought I would be upset and cry, but I really don't feel anything anymore. I'm just more mad. My time was wasted because I sat there for close to 2 hours. It could also be the medicine, and that I try not to emotionally react badly in front of my baby because he's like becoming more aware and picking up when I'm upset. So say your thoughts, I won't be offended. And did I overreact with my response at the end? I always feel bad when I'm mean to my mom, and I feel like a bad kid in a way, so I'm never sure if I'm right in the situation with her. Am I overreacting? The post was deleted, so I can't read the text. Wish I could. Next post was posted in the Momit subreddit on October 29th, 2025. Is crying in front of your baby bad? I'm not sure if it's a myth or if it's something I should learn to control, but I often do cry in front of my baby, and I don't know if it affects him. He's only 4 months, and right now, he's at the stage where he's so nosy, and the moms that know, lol. He practically breaks his nose to see what's going on, and if he hears someone talking, he needs to see who's talking, and God forbid if I leave the room more than 3 minutes without him. Thank God for sling wraps, because that's how I'm getting stuff done. My mental health hasn't been the best. I don't want to trigger anyone here, but I was formally diagnosed with postpartum depression, and I'm dealing with another diagnosis for CPTSD. So I'm definitely a hot mess over here, but sometimes when I'm having a rough day, I have meltdowns that my baby ends up always seeing because I'm his primary caregiver. But this past week is the first time I've noticed my son reacting to it. On Saturday, I was supposed to meet with my mom that I have not had a great relationship with, and I was so anxious, and the entire time he was so fussy that it's not really like him. Then yesterday, I had another breakdown where I was crying and my son was just staring at me. This stare felt different from the other ones because it was like he was processing it and confused. I could be overanalyzing, but I do worry about his development, and I don't want to pass my trauma to him. Do you guys cry in front of your kids? And if you're depressed, how did you cope with it around your kids? Only 2 people commented. The 2 comments are, I don't think so. I've cried in front of my daughter, who's now 16 months old. I cry a lot. It's natural. Also a trained counselor. I think just reassuring them that you're okay and expressing your feelings like you would if they had a hard time. The other comment is, I had bad PPA and saw a therapist almost weekly to help. I didn't have anyone to look after my baby, so I had to take her with me. Every single appointment, I was a mess, crying, etc. I asked my therapist if my crying would be a negative impact on my daughter, and she assured me that it wouldn't, and if you put words around your crying event when they are young, the babies understand. What I did was when I was crying, I would look at my baby and say something like, Mommy's feeling a bit sad right now because XXX, and then I would give my baby a cuddle. It's a good way to reassure them and also teach them that it's not a bad thing to show emotions. The next post is from the Am I Overreacting subreddit, posted on November 7th, 2025. Am I overreacting for being just a little cautious with my new relationship? This conversation thread is between me, 15 female, and my new boyfriend. I really do like him, and he's not like my child's father, 20 male, but he was close friends with him and saw how he mistreated me. To his credit, he did stand up for me a few times when I was with him, but overall, the situation with my child's father is complicated in general. But I've been learning a lot about myself through therapy, one of the things being I have abandonment issues. My dad died when I was 10. My mom had been in and out of my life since his death because of her addiction. Then my 2 older brothers went off to college, and what it felt like never looked back. So having a stable person in my life, I never really experienced it until now with him. I know we're fighting in the text, but he's been so amazing to me, and I don't want to screw it up because of my previous trauma with my son's father. But I'm wondering if I'm overreacting by kind of like insinuating that he is just like him. Oh boy, let's see. New boyfriend says, can we please hang out? I want to see you again tonight. She responds with, we hung out Tuesday and you saw me a bit yesterday and today. You'll survive. He comes back with, well, I just like being around you. You're honestly the hottest girl I ever dated. She says, well, thank you, honey. He then says, when you put him down, call me and we'll just go around the block and get shakes real quick. She responds with, well, I can't just leave him in his crib. My grandparents are sleeping, but I also just want to stay in tonight with my boy. He's been so clingy with me lately, and I feel like I might have been away from him too much, and it's making him anxious. He comes back with, well, me and Blank are in the same boat. Perhaps I'll sit and hang out with y'all. She comes back with, again, my grandparents are asleep. I want to check in with them before I just bring, a guy into the house. He says, Oh, now you're about grandparents' permission. You seem pretty okay with me sneaking into your room last Saturday. She comes back with, for one, my grandparents were at the casino, and my son was with my sister-in-law. He said, why are you acting like I'm coming over just to have sex with you? She says, I mean, given what time it is and how you're really pushing, it seems like you are. He says, well, I'm not. I just want to spend time with you. You have a lot of PTSD with your ex, but I'm not like that, and you're treating me like I am. She says, I mean, you were friends with him, and probably spent way more time with him than I ever did. So I'm cautious, I'll admit that, and it's because this is still so new, plus I have my son I have to consider. I can't just hop from one guy to the next, but tomorrow we can hang out and I'll make it up to you. He said, I don't know, what you said in that paragraph kinda offends me. She says, I'm just validating you. I know you're different from my ex, and I don't think you're like blank at all, but I just don't want to feel like the way he made me feel while we're together. He said, but you're implying that I am, though, and I'm honestly blindsided. I thought you thought more highly of me. She says, I do. That's not what I'm saying. Can you please answer my FaceTime? Blank is asleep now. He says, nah, I'm going to bed. Love you, though. She says, are you mad at me? And he goes, I am, but let me sleep on it. All right, love you. She said, wow, okay. Good morning. He said hi, and she says, are you seriously still mad about last night? And he said, kinda. And she said, are you seriously upset because I wanted to be at home with my son? He said, no, I'm not mad at that. I understand your kid comes first. I'm just mad that you keep comparing me to your ex. She responds with, oh my god, I'm not doing that. I also feel like you're just saying that's the issue now, but this isn't the first time I told you this. I don't like you mad at me, please. I'm sorry, I won't bring him up again. I don't want our relationship to end because of him. You mean a lot to me, and I'm sorry. This same friend is, over 20, correct? Yeah? Relevant comment is, babes, you're 15. There is no reason a 20-year-old man should be acting like this with you or even be with you. Please get out of this relationship and focus on yourself and your son. How long have you even been together? Saying I love you, but also getting protective and weird with you needing space? Please leave this man. Edit to add, oh, this is you. I remember your post. Girl, please leave this man as well. Your ex and him are too similar and you're still a child yourself. You are being victimized again by another man. Another relevant comment said, sweetie, you're 15 with a baby and working through other issues to better yourself. Focus on you and your son. You have plenty of time to date and find love. He is trying to guilt trip you and pressure you to do something you already stated you didn't want to do. Leave the house or have him over while your grandparents are asleep. If he truly cared and respected you, then his response would have been, okay, take care of baby boy and let me know when I can see you again once he's okay. Or he would have offered to hang out with you guys at a reasonable time instead of when you just said you were trying to get the baby down and be a present mom. And him bringing up your trauma with your 20-year-old ex-child's father, baby daddy, as a way to make you feel bad is truly disgusting. And somebody responded to that. She needs to realize ASAP that this guy and her predator ex are friends for a reason. He's acting like her ex. Another comment says, I hate Reddit. Jesus Christ, I'm choosing to believe this is rage bait. Sometimes I am too, because a lot of people are wanting to know his age. Somebody says, you're 15 and he's 20, question mark. And then this is when the other OP comes in and comments, he's 24, I know them both. And another person comments saying, fuck. Unfortunately, this is what grooming and trauma looks like. It blurs the lines between what is acceptable and what's not. Go other OP for stepping in the comments. Okay. Next post is from the True Off My Chest subreddit, and it was posted November 14th, 2025. I just found out my ex was selling our homemade videos, and I'm devastated. Yesterday afternoon, I had to sit down with 2 female officers about things regarding my ex since he's in legal trouble. I know I was a part of the reason why he got into trouble, but not like the main reason. But they questioned me about the videos me and him made, and I was honest about it. Then they dropped a bomb on me that they had reasons to believe he sold these videos to people online. Honestly, after they said that to me, my ears got really hot and started ringing, and I couldn't even hear much of what they were saying from that point. Just that they saw our vids and recent arrests of people who had possession of CP. I was so devastated and just so hurt by my ex for doing that to me. God knows how much I loved him and would have followed him anywhere, just for him to awfully betray me. He knew how mortified I would be if anyone saw them. I hated the videos. I never wanted to watch them back. He treated me so badly while making them. He would hit me, choke me, and pull my hair so much that it wouldn't stop shedding until days after. I've never been raped before, but during the making of those videos, it felt like the closest thing to that. I had such a hard time allowing to be touched after that, but I guess this is my fault to even allow him to film me. I have a feeling the comments for this post are going to be like, you were raped, my dear. Relevant comments are, from what I understand, you are 15 years old, you are a child and a minor by law and in every sense of the word. There is so much here to take into consideration. He, by law, is an adult at 20. Even if consent was given for normal sex, this is statutory rape. What he did is grooming a child, rape, and abuse. You are the victim here. You have nothing to feel ashamed or guilty about. This man needs to go to jail for a long time. Please try to have support of family. Speak to a professional for your mental and physical well-being. You will get through this, but don't give this person a second thought. This is not your fault. Another person said, you forgot he also made and distributed CP. Absolutely should look into some counseling. Also, at what point can we stop calling it CP when it's child sexual abuse material? I didn't know that. Thank you for informing me. Noted. Somebody comments, what's the difference between the two? And then the person who said it was child sexual abuse material says, CSAM is the result of a child being groomed, coerced, and exploited by their abusers, and is a form of child sexual abuse. But using the term child porn implies it's a subcategory of legal acceptable porn, rather than a form of child abuse and a crime. Thank you for taking the time and effort to educate. I had no idea about this, but it makes a lot of sense. Glad I could help. Make a lot of sense for me as well. First time I heard it. Yeah. Somebody goes, he didn't groom her because that would imply he met her while underage and then waited until she was legal. She's not. She's a kid who was raped by an adult. And then somebody else comments, there is no duration or age specifications for behavior to be considered grooming. Most children who are sexually abused are groomed prior to and or following the abuse, and often so are their guardians, to facilitate the abusers gaining control of the children. OP's boyfriend was absolutely grooming her, and she was a child who was repeatedly violently raped by this adult predator. Somebody else commented saying, you are not the part of the reason he got in trouble. He is the reason he got in trouble. He raped a child and then sold that to others. That's CP. Since you are just now 15 and those videos happened previous, that means you were younger and then even less of a place of consent to that kind of activity. It's not your fault. It's his fault for doing something illegal, and I'm glad he got caught. I think instead of CP, it's called Child Sexual Abuse Material, CSAM, pronounced as SAM. This helps destigmatize consensual adult porn from someone legally assaulting a child and recording it, just FYI. But yeah, a lot of people are telling her, no, you are the victim, my dear. The next post is from the Too Hot Take subreddit. She also posted it in Am I Overreacting? But it is, am I overreacting, or is my ex trying to get in contact with me? And then my ex is trying to reach out to me via Disney+. But there's a picture of the Disney Plus login screen asking who's watching. And each one says, I miss you. Don't believe them. I love you. You know the real me. You and blank. So, yeah. My 15 female, ex 20 male was recently arrested on some pretty big charges, and a part of his bail, he can't come in contact with me nor our son unless he sees like a judge to revise his bail. I have honestly no interest in talking to him because of what I'm hearing, and I'm not going to say why he got into trouble because I'm not trying to get this post removed because I do want genuine advice. I have really tried not to think about him anymore because if I think about him too long, I get really depressed and then sometimes cry. So I've been focusing on my therapy and my son. Plus, I'm kind of dating someone else now, and it's disrespectful to him if I'm still thinking about my ex. So I'm wondering if this technically him breaking his bail. The only reason why I know it's him because he knows how much I use Disney Plus and that I'm on it daily rather than for my son to watch his Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, or it's me watching Big Hero 6 and Up for the 20th time. Don't make fun of me. Disney movies help me sleep at night. LOL. So is he breaking his bail for doing this? This is not good for my mental health. The Too Hot Takes subreddit took it down. The moderators did. But they did get some comments in. Some relevant comments are, it's disgusting that a 20-year-old man has a baby with a 15-year-old girl. What sick human? I don't know if it's breaking his bail, but I'd inform the correct people about this. God, what a fucking horrible thing to read. For real, I was already glaring at the ages, and then my eyes bugged out of my head when I read our son. Somebody else commented, he shouldn't be around any kids, which OP is a child. I have a 14-year-old, and she's nowhere near mature enough to even consider a relationship with a 16-year-old, much less a 20-year-old. Edit to add, OMG it's way worse. Apparently OP's post history states he had made videos of them, CSAM, and then distributed it, WTF. The fact that he was even out of jail is absolutely disgusting. But him trying to get in touch with her to keep ruining her life is absolutely vile. Yeah, a lot of people are in the comments going, this is fucked up. Another person says, question, why does he still have access to your Disney account? Log out of all devices and change your password. Keep a record of behavior like this. Not sure if this alone would be enough to break bail, but it's certainly worth a shot. Protect yourself and your child. Good luck, OP. This literally is the first thing I thought too, LOL. Changing the password feels like hitting the reset button on both the account and your peace of mind. Sometimes the smartest click is the biggest boundary. Yes, this is breaking bail. Don't delete until you have shown it to his probation officer. Tell your therapist, I'm sorry this has happened to you. OP responded, okay, thank you. So something can be done about this. I wasn't sure because I didn't know if I could prove he was the one to change it or if it counts as a violation. I assume they can check the IP address of the access location. Somebody else responds, absolutely counts. Call your local non-emergency police station and tell them exactly what happened. Depending on if you have safe transportation from a trusted adult, they will either send someone to get a statement or have your adult drive you down to the station. They will contact his probation officer. He's a dangerous individual and his attempts to contact you may escalate, and there is no way to predict how or when. Go into your account settings and change your password, then choose the option to log out of all devices. Do this for every account he ever had access to, including streaming, emails, medical websites such as patient portals, password managers, Apple ID, Google accounts, and whatever other company that manages your phone. Also Life360 or other GPS trackers. There are a lot of people who are still like, OP, why didn't you just log out of all your thing and reset your passwords first off? The next post is in the Am I Overreacting subreddit, posted November 24th, 2025. Am I overreacting, or is my boyfriend being insecure about my ex for no reason? This is a conversation between me and my boyfriend. We have a good relationship outside of this one issue, which is my ex-boyfriend. My ex is currently facing some big charges pertaining me, so it's been a lot of strain on my relationship with my now boyfriend. Because certain memories I honestly either forgotten or suppressed have been coming back to me via like my therapy or the cops just simply asking me about it. I had a panic attack for the first time while I was with him yesterday, and it was like the worst feeling in my life. I thought I was having a stroke, and he was there to comfort me and calm down, so I was grateful for him. But I share my 5-month-old son with my ex-boyfriend, and my current boyfriend was even close friends with my ex even before we dated. So I thought he would be a safe person for me to talk to and just understand the situation without me having to explain. Because he witnessed some of the things my ex used to do, and our relationship was friendly at first, but became romantic really fast when he confessed his feelings for me. So that's how we got together, so unexpectedly, zero overlapping. I told him only a little bit about the stuff with my ex because, like you see in the text, this is how he gets. I know it kind of pisses people off around me if I do talk about my ex. So I'm wondering if I'm wrong in overreacting in these messages. I really tried to understand his feelings. He just likes to put me down, which hurts because I really do love him. You just started dating him. Oh, we can't see the text messages because it's deleted. Yeah, no, I really wanted to see those text messages. But the last thing OP posted was November 25th, 2025 in the What Should I Do subreddit. I flipped out on my boyfriend during sex. So last night I went over to my boyfriend's house, and we were just chilling, mostly watching a movie and cuddling for a bit. Then we started making out, and that's when it started escalating, and I felt him getting hard. So I did start giving him a handy, and he wanted more than just that. And initially coming over, I didn't want to have sex. He did not know that, nor did I tell him. but he started whispering to me how badly he wanted to fuck me, so I folded and allowed him to strip me down. I'm not really trying to make this sound like a Wattpad story. I'm just trying to give everyone an idea of the scene. We were also just on his sofa. As he was on top of me, I started feeling sick and started to feel like I had a fever. Then it started to feel like I couldn't breathe. So I just hyperventilated and shaking. The thing is, though, he did not stop and he was still, inside of me. So as I was hyperventilating, he goes even harder and faster, which just made it even worse. And I couldn't even tell him to stop because I was still having a hard time just simply breathing, let alone talking. And as he was getting rougher, I found the power to push him off, and I ran to his bathroom, literally naked, and I just sat on the floor and cried. My boyfriend was confused at first, and he started to try and talk to me from outside to get me to calm down in the bathroom and to give me my clothes and offered to drive me home. He told me I didn't have to explain myself and that he understands, and whenever I'm ready, I can tell him. I feel so embarrassed and awful about it, and I don't have the heart to tell him why I reacted that way. I know why. I've been going through insane therapy, unpacking the toxic relationship with my ex, and I think that my body thought it was my ex being intimate with me and reacted to it. My boyfriend obviously wanted to talk about it, but I just know he's not going to take it well and take it as I was thinking about my ex while we were having sex. He already believes I have feelings for him still, so I'm not even sure what to do. I think you shouldn't date for a while, but that's just my opinion. Some relevant comments are, just because you had a panic attack that was connected to trauma from your ex doesn't mean you were thinking about your ex during sex. The body holds on to trauma, and like you said, the sex may have triggered it. There's nothing to be ashamed or embarrassed about. If I were you, I'd tell him the truth. If he gets angry, then why keep seeing someone you aren't comfortable being honest with? But if everything goes well, you two should come up with a safe word or a safe action, like tapping him 3 times in case something like this happens again. Another comment says, this comment's absolutely right. Communicating is crucial at this point. The fact is, you weren't thinking about your ex while you were making out with him. Your subconscious reacted to trauma, and that's what triggered it. Think of it this way. A soldier who has been traumatized, for example, by a bomb exploding nearby, may panic when he hears a loud bang from a broken down car. The trauma has absolutely nothing to do with the current situation, it just triggers it. It's neither your fault nor your boyfriend's fault. So, as the commenter said, it's important that you have safe words or actions to stop it from happening again. It's also very good for your boyfriend to know what went wrong so he can react properly and try to read your reaction/body language while you're having fun. When you tell him about it, make sure you tell him it's not his fault and try to explain what might have triggered it. For example, that you felt pressured and didn't tell him beforehand. Or, she should just stop having sex for a while. A lot of people are telling her, you need safe words. I don't think they know that. I don't think a lot of people went to her page and read her posts. And there is some people who did see her post history. One comment says, well, after reading your post history, no wonder why you're having a hard time being intimate. I think you need to communicate with him about this. He seems understanding enough not to take it personally, it seems like. I don't think he would be upset if you were honest with him. Good luck, OP. And another person said, he's also 10 years older than her and she's 15. How would she not have PTSD? He's doing exactly what his ex did to her. But now, there is also one post from the original OP from episode 2 that I wanted to read, and it was taken down and deleted by this OP, or by the mods, I don't know. It was posted in Tear Off My Chest on September 25th, 2025. My brother got exposed, and I couldn't be more happier. My brother, male 19, 20 next week, is finally getting some backlash for the problematic relationship he has had with my best friend, female 15. For the past 2 to 3-ish years. I'm going to call her M for this post. So I know some people may probably know about this case with the singer that allegedly harmed that girl, and everyone has been talking about it where I'm from, which triggered my brother's ex-girlfriend to make a Facebook post about him, and the post said, "It ceases to amaze me of how many of my friends and acquaintances are so invested in this case when y'all are no different from the enablers in that disgusting singer's life. My ex, she tagged the brother, has been raping his sister's friend since she was 12, but y'all brush over it and look at it like it's a real relationship when there's an obvious power imbalance there. How I know, you may ask? He admitted to cheating on me with her and that he was in love with her and has been. He's also disgustingly admitted that I was a seat warmer until he felt like she was ready. Also, if you need additional proof, everyone in his inner circle, including the police, is well aware that girl's baby is his. But again, no one cares and sees that as normal. His parents are also very well aware. Back in May, I saw his mom and that girl at the doctor's office when she was really pregnant. It's unnatural for a 14-year-old to be carrying a baby like that, so when you guys get on your soapbox and saying, we need to protect the kids, the call is coming from inside the house. And then she has a thread of photos with evidence. My mom, dad, and brother went into a panic mode after this post, started calling lawyers to try to get the post removed, but I don't know what they expect a lawyer to do if what she is saying is actually true. My brother is the father of the baby. The police were notified and did absolutely nothing and didn't want to pursue charges because apparently there was a leeway if he had some sort of evidence that he had established a relationship with her prior to him turning 18, he is good. He didn't actually. My mom just found www group photos of them standing next to each other and cropped us out. But also I have 2 cousins that are cops for our county and an uncle that's a state trooper, but he's 2 hours away. I personally don't think my family holds any power to stop my brother from getting investigated, but everyone in this town thinks so. I think so. Said so in episode 2. His ex ended up deleting the post, which I think my best friend told her to do, but it was up for 3 days and reached 500 likes. My brother is scared shitless to show his face in town, and he's trying to run with the defense that she's just a bitter ex that is just out to get him, and that he is just being big brother to M because he knows her home life is difficult. My brother's incredibly charismatic. If you were to meet him, you would not think of him as an abuser. The truth is, he did do a number on my friend, and she is not remotely the same at all. She is very much traumatized from just going through childbirth and being in a relationship with my brother and lost so much of her personality. When she's with my nephew, it's the only time I see her genuinely happy because she loves that baby. Not gonna burst her bubble. As far as their relationship, she believes that baby is the reincarnation of her dad. I personally don't believe in that, but he still has control over her, and they are still together, but are moving more silently about it. He's trying to convince her to come run away with him, to live on a military base with him. Hi, editing Paula here. I know I said that one post was OP's last post before I got to her friend's post about the brother, but since Thanksgiving, she's posted some more. And I think a lot of them have been deleted off her page. The first one is, am I overreacting? Or is my boyfriend giving me an ultimatum about our sex life? This is a text thread one, but she deleted it herself. So there's that issue. So we can't see the text messages, but we still have the story because of the archive. So the post is, me and my boyfriend are at a crossroads about our sex life. It was great at first. He didn't hurt me or anything. But this Monday, I went over to his house and we got intimate again. And during that, I had a panic attack and flipped out on him and hid in his bathroom. Kind of traumatizing him in the process. And this is the conversation thread, basically me explaining everything. The PTSD, I think, stems from therapy and being pushed to talk about memories I suppressed. I feel like the situation is all my fault, and I feel bad I can't be the girlfriend he wants me to be. Also, our relationship isn't all sexual, but I know it's something he likes to do, so I rarely turn him down. I don't want to break up, but I feel like he's forcing my hand. The panic attack I experienced was painful. It felt like an entire muscle spasm in my chest. It felt so painful. I'm scared if I experience that again, it's gonna hurt even more. So reading these texts back, it feels like he's giving me an ultimatum. I'm so frustrated with my body that this is even an issue. But am I overreacting by taking his response as giving me an ultimatum? And from a lot of the comments, because I read some of the comments, because, I was curious. It sounds like she was saying because of her panic attacks and all that, she wants to take a break from sex for about a month. And he has a complete and utter meltdown with it. So the relevant comments are, I read your post history and I don't know what to say. I'm legitimately speechless. You are 15 and have a baby. What the fuck? The last thing you need to be doing is having sex. Edit to add. Please, for the love of God, leave this person. He doesn't love you and is just taking full advantage of you sexually because of your past trauma and your abandonment issues. I know your dad's passed away, but he's not gone spiritually, and he wouldn't want to see his daughter being taken advantage of. I know you are looking for stability, but that starts with you. You don't need anyone for that because the only person you can depend on is yourself. Now that you have a child, it should be your top priority. And you should do whatever you can to provide for your child. Stop dating and focus on yourself. Put yourself first. And then the thread for that is a lot of people going, what is happening? How old is this dude? And the first commenter who said what I just said was like, baby daddy is 20. We don't know how old the other guy is, but obviously we know the other guy's 24, 25. And then another person comments more information about her and baby daddy, and that he was making CP of her. And then it gets down to the bottom to where now everybody knows baby daddy's age, baby daddy's charges, baby daddy's issues, all that, her issues, and the new boyfriend's age, because of her friend who commented on her post and made her own posts. Somebody else comments, bro, he started off so nice, and I was like, damn, he's a good pool. But then he crashed out. Seems he might be wanting you just for sex. Easy, not overreacting. Edit, post history looks insane. Another person said, I'm sorry, but my honest opinion is how much can he really care if he's not okay with just masturbating for 1 month? That's embarrassing and sad that he'd rather pull the me big man, me have needs card than put any effort into trying to help you. A lot of people are telling her to get out of these relationships, that these guys are predators, that she should not be dating anybody over the age of 18. She should be looking more in her age range. Another person says, the way he switches up immediately once your mental health suddenly becomes inconvenient for him, he doesn't care about you, he cares about what you can do for him. Another person says, I wouldn't say this is an ultimatum, but he's definitely being a fucking prick. I really wish I could read these text messages, but from what everybody else is saying, I'm going to keep saying it to you, OP. No, you're not overreacting. You need to just stop dating guys that are over your age. Try going 14. I know that's a little young, but at least they'll be in high school. 14 to 17. Nobody over the age of 18. That's all I gotta say. Mainly because the legal consent age in your state is 16. But 14 to 17. Please and thank you. The next post she posted is in the What Should I Do subreddit. Posted on November 30th. Is, I'm considering quitting my therapy for my relationship. Please don't do that, OP. So, this is such a bizarre and weird condition, but lately my body gets random flare-ups of hives that are so painful to touch, random hot flashes that feel like my ears are burning, and worse for me is the panic attacks. I had no idea panic attacks were painful, but it literally feels like someone's punching you really hard in the chest, and now you can't breathe, and I feel so helpless because I can't talk, so from the other person's perspective, it looks like I'm choking on something. I mean, I've never had a panic attack before either, but that sounds horrendous, and I wouldn't want to have one. Continue. This chronic fight with my body is ruining everything for me, and it's not allowing me to be a good girlfriend to my boyfriend because it's affecting our sex life and now my personal sleeping habits. First off, I don't condone the sex life. You are 15. You don't need to be having a sex life. Plus, you already have a child. You don't need a sex life, my dear. In all kind regards, if you ever hear this, listen to episode 4 first. You will be hearing me say, please get rid of this guy. Now I'm saying it in this episode because of your 24-year-old boyfriend who's taking advantage of you. Please get away from these guys. Do not date in a higher age range. 3 years. 2 to 3 years. That's all you need. Until you become 18 or 19, and that's when you can start dating higher. Because then it wouldn't be weird. It's still considered a faux pas for some people, but it wouldn't be weird. No sex. No. Not now. Not maybe a little bit later after your kid grows up a little bit more. Start dating younger, please. The whole thing is just frustrating, and I think it stems a lot from therapy. I recently started because I did have an attempt in early October, but I personally think I even reacted that way was because I was pregnant and didn't know. Not anymore. I had an abortion at the hospital, but I'm thinking of stopping therapy so I can become myself again. I don't think that will help you in the slightest. Please stay in therapy. Please stay on any medications they give you. It will help you in the long run. Not this week, but last week, we talked about my relationship with sex and how I view it. I admitted out loud to her how traumatic it was losing my virginity, which it should not have been traumatic. And I was like 12 when it happened. Oh, poor sweet baby. I thought you were 13. She was 12. I didn't realize it was even sex until after the fact and I had to Google it. I was just confused why it had been so painful, and it didn't feel good from like what I've seen in the movies. But the whole thing was so confusing and scary. Should not be confusing and scary. Should not be traumatic. Should be pleasurable. Should be painful at first. Because it's your first time. Then it's pleasant. Then pleasurable. I didn't tell anyone because of how embarrassing it is. And I didn't want the judgment of it, so I just kept it a secret and just tried not to think about it. Now, I'm really considering quitting therapy, or at least putting a pause on it. I don't think it's helping me, and it's just giving me new physical conditions, and I don't think right now is wise for me to keep rehashing old stuff. Is this a good idea? No. Absolutely not. It's not a good idea. I think you should stick with therapy. So this post was removed by a moderator, and then she removed it off her page, but it did get comments. And I believe she commented on some of them. So, one comment is, "Honey, I've been following your post for some time. The reason your body is reacting like that is because your body knows your boyfriend is also an abuser. He's 24 and you're 15. Your ex, the person that gave you this trauma, is 20 years old. And if we're doing the math, he was 17 when you were just 12. A child, honey. You are still a child. You didn't deserve that you were raped. I agree with the other comments about counseling in your primary doctor, and maybe get a different therapist. But honey, your body's been through a lot of trauma, and it's probably reacting this way to protect you." OP commented back to this person and said, "Look, I understand why everyone automatically thinks he's abusive because of our age gap, and I promise you he isn't, so I would be sad if we had to break up because of my previous trauma, but I know that's where this is heading, and it makes me feel like my ex was right, and I could never find anyone again after him." And this is where I'm thinking, no, you are wrong. First of all, your ex is a rapist, a pedophile, and apparently likes to make CP and distribute it and sell it to people. And your new boyfriend is a friend of your ex and baby daddy, and he is 24. So not only is your baby daddy ex a rapist and predator, your new boyfriend is a rapist and predator as well. And honestly, I think you should just keep working on therapy, because then that will help you see that your ex was wrong and that you will be able to find somebody in the future, because then you'll be healed somewhat. Maybe trauma never really goes away, but like you'll have all these methods to help you like not be like and yeah, you'll figure out how to do things. Another comment that OP responded back to is, "First and foremost, please don't abandon yourself in order to satisfy another person, ever. This is about your mental health, And if he's a good boyfriend, he's going to be supportive of what you need, because this is not a little thing. Your body's response is crying out for help. You need to listen to it. It's not going to go away by avoiding it. The only way to heal it is to work through it. Your therapist might not be the right therapist for trauma. There are therapists out there that can re-traumatize a person with PTSD. I did not know this. Okay. You learn something new every day. Thank you, Reddit. I'm telling you this from experience. I once had a therapist who I liked a lot as a person, but I was there to address my trauma and started to notice that he was making it worse and not better. I immediately started seeing a different therapist, one who specialized in trauma, and I progressively healed every week. EMDR and yoga therapy are both incredibly moderates of therapy for trauma. Yoga therapy is not regular yoga. Also, if the topic of sex is escalating a trauma response that strong, the last thing you really should be doing is putting mental health services on pause so you can resume your sex life. I promise that's not going to pan out the way you're hoping it will. Your body knows things before your mind does, and your body is screaming for help. Please listen to it. If your boyfriend does not understand this, he's not the guy you deserve. Well said. Oh my god. I could not put it even better. Also, if the topic of sex is escalating the trauma response that strong, the last thing you really need to be doing is putting mental health services on pause so you can resume your sex life. Yes. Those words. Oh my god. Do not be putting your mental health on pause just because you're just like, it's not really helping my sex life. It's causing too much trauma and panic attacks. So I'm just going to stop this, so maybe my sex life will get better? No, your sex life is going to your panic attacks are going to get worse. Everything's just going to be worse, and you're just going to be like, and you're going to be back in that bathroom going, and crying and being like, listen to people, please. OP responded back with, I like my therapist too, and I don't think she's intentionally trying to do it, but just makes me talk about things I've forgotten about or just suppressed, and it's very intense. I've never had sessions that I don't end up breaking down and just crying. I've heard about EMDR, but I'm not sure if my insurance covers, and if it did, the provider's most likely not in my area and across the state because I live in the middle of nowhere. Oh wow, the comment underneath it. The comment underneath OP and the one person saying, do not quit therapy for your sex life. Never quit therapy for your sex life. This person says, I've been raped too. Sex is supposed to feel good. Like I said. I suggest ditching this boyfriend and going to a rape therapist who can help you get over the trauma before trying to be in a relationship again. I had a free rape SA specific therapist, an out-of-network trauma therapist, and an in-network therapist all at once. And the in-network therapist helped me the least, if she didn't in fact hinder my growth. She was really judgmental. Ooh, those are the worst. Why do people become therapists if they're going to be judgmental? Like, hello? You're not here to judge me, you're here to help me and help me heal. Like, I'm trying to get past all my trauma, and you judging me does not help me at all, lady. Just sit down. The therapy from the two good therapists helped so much. A few years later, I finally found a boyfriend who didn't sexually abuse me. All the boyfriends before were sexually abusive because I haven't healed from the rapes. Another person commented, and I love their username, is just bitchy, said, quitting therapy for a relationship is not the answer, and I think you'd regret it. Yeah. Another person commented, if you feel like you're better taking a step away from therapy, then take a step away. You can always go back. Another person goes, OP's 15 and her boyfriend's 24. And that person comes back with, oh, that needs to be reported. Yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Another person comments saying, oh god, no. Quit the relationship. Quit all those toxic relationships with older men who are doing nothing but preying on you and taking advantage of your naivety. Stop having sex, look out for your son, and amp up therapy. A lot of everybody else is saying, this is probably your first run at therapist, because it probably is. Because, she's 15, and she just found out this is happening to her. Like, that she was groomed and all that. And, so, And they're just like, your therapist might not be the therapist for you. You could easily change your therapist. Please just find another therapist. Do not quit therapy. Which I have to agree 100% on, OP. Do not quit therapy. Please. The next post is posted in the CPTSD subreddit. And it was taken down by OP. So I'm reading it from the archives again. I've been reading all of her posts from the archives, by the way. In early October, I, female 15, attempted to harm myself, and while I was in treatment, I got diagnosed with CPTSD. So this whole thing is still new to me. At first, I was honestly shocked because I didn't think I had severe trauma. I just thought I was stressed and going through postpartum. But since being discharged, I have been doing outpatient work and in therapy, and honestly, it's been really triggering for me, and I've cried at every session so far. But since I've been talking about things that have been happening to me, it's like my body's been attacking me back. I randomly break out in hives that appear then disappear. Hot flashes that make my ears burn. I can't hear shit, and the worst is the panic attacks, because that actually makes me feel like I'm going to die, and I can't control when it comes, or like hide it when I'm having it like the other conditions. So it's so frustrating to me. I went to my doctor this morning, and I just feel like he dismissed me and told me there are just side effects to this diagnosis, and that I could be dealing with my body rewiring its nervous system, and I'm still very confused by that. He just gave me a prescription for sleeping medication and basically kept up with therapy. I've honestly thought about quitting therapy because of what's going on with my body, but maybe if I understand what's going on, I can become better. I know EMDR is an option, but I live in a rural area in my state, and the only person that accepts my insurance is 2.5 to 3 hours away, so that kind of sucks. I mean, if you have to take a 6-hour round trip for this therapy, I'm pretty sure it's the best thing to do. But like, please do not quit therapy. That's all I'm asking. And then the latest post is from today, and it's from the Tear Off My Chest subreddit. I don't know if my son's father is actually his at this point. This one I have not read, so yay. There's 9 comments, so hopefully OP does not take this one off her page, or does not get taken down. Friday morning, I saw on social media that 2 of my ex's friends were arrested. I honestly didn't think too much of it when I saw it and really didn't care about further looking into the exact charges. But a couple hours later that same day, the same cops that delivered the first news about my ex selling videos of us being intimate, I thought they were giving us case updates or something, but they told me cybersecurity reviewing the evidence, and they have evidence that his 2 friends raped me while I was drunk. Back up. Back up. What? Huh? I need to reread that. Bear with me. Friday morning, I saw on social media that 2 of my ex's friends were arrested. I honestly didn't think too much of it when I saw it, and I really didn't care about further looking into the exact charges. But a couple hours later, that same day, the same cops that delivered the first news about my ex selling videos about us being intimate came by. I thought they were giving us case updates or something, but they told me cybersecurity reviewing the evidence that they have, and they have evidence of his 2 friends raping me while I was drunk. Obviously, my ex knew about this because he recorded them doing that to me. Your ex needs to go to prison. For a long time. I honestly kind of don't want to believe it because I simply have no memory of them doing that. Yes, because you were drunk. A lot of people who are blackout drunk don't remember things. I honestly kind of don't want to believe it because I simply have no memory of them doing that. And usually when girls get essayed like this, they kind of remember it. Not really. Not if they're blackout drunk. Not if they slipped you something. And usually when girls get essayed like this, they kind of remember it. And I don't have any recollection of this, and it's eating me alive so badly. Then, with my ex, he was always very strict about my interactions with other boys and would yell at me and call me out if he thought I was too friendly with one of his friends, so the fact that he allowed them to do that to me is a mindfuck, honestly, and one of the reasons why I find it hard to believe. But what's actually weighing on me is my son. So does this mean his father might not actually be his father? Depends on when they raped you, I guess. It's an answer I didn't want to honestly know. Because my son was very unplanned and I really considered aborting him. I didn't though, and I don't regret making that decision at all. However, one of the affirmations I was telling myself to come to terms with becoming a mom way sooner than I thought was, even if me and his father didn't work out, that my son was made from what I thought at the time was true love. But now with this new information, it's like he could have been conceived in such a bad way. Regardless of who his father is, I would obviously still love my boy. I just feel awful because he's gonna have to know all of this when he's older. Then he's a boy, so I don't know how badly it will affect him growing up without a dad. I do have a guy I'm seeing, and he wants to take on the father role with my son. But honestly, I might just end the whole relationship, which sucks because my mom likes him for me and stuff and really wants me to try. But he puts so much pressure on me to be affectionate with him and sex. He deserves better. No, you deserve better. First off, I'm confused about your mother because she didn't like your ex slash baby daddy because he was 20, but she likes your new boyfriend who's 24? Explain that to me. What? Ma'am? Excuse me? No. Get rid of your mom too. Relevant comments. Request a court-ordered DNA sample. It's only right, as when this kid grows up, he will want to know. I mean, he's going to have to find out eventually. You know, medical reasons. You never know. Another comment is, please get into therapy with someone with experience treating trauma. This is not something to wait for and see what happens. You also need a great deal of unconditional love and acceptance. Gather the people who love you and confide in anyone that you feel is completely trustworthy. You're very vulnerable right now, and avoiding any romantic relationships would be in your best interest. I wish you good luck. You're worth so much more than how these sick rapists treated you. Godspeed. I think your boyfriend might be one of the people that your ex might have recorded raping you while you're drunk. He just probably does not have the evidence. Don't be with a guy that pressures you for sex you don't want just because your mom likes him. Jeez. And get a court-ordered DNA test for your son and these 3 men. This is horrible. Your ex needs to be in jail with these 2 guys. I think he is in jail, but he needs to be put away forever. But yeah, so far, that's all she wrote. For the time being, we don't know. Maybe something else will happen later in the future. I will keep us all updated. Hopefully, she sticks with therapy. Hopefully, she gets rid of this dude. Hopefully, if she posts again, she's going to be like, I'm doing so well in therapy. My son is thriving. I dumped the 24-year-old. I'm staying out of relationships for the time being. My mom, we don't speak to weach other anymore. I live with my grandma and grandpa, and we're moving down to Florida. We're moving down to Florida to be with my dad's family. That would be an acceptable post for me. Like, update us that you're doing well, life's going great, that your therapy's going well, and you're moving away from all these toxic ass people. Please. Now, with everything that has happened with the OP's whole thing, and then OP from episode 2, the last story we just read, I think that, yes, she is still traumatized. I think she is going through PTSD. She's going through postpartum. I think she's going through a lot, and that she was using Reddit as a way to escape, or way to use Reddit as therapy and reach out and try to get help without her boyfriend saying anything or doing anything, or ex-boyfriend saying or doing anything. And I think she's falling back into that with the new boyfriend who was brother's friend, and he's 24 years old and she's still 15. And it hurts my heart thinking she's out there and it's happening all over again. But there's nothing I can really do. But this is still ongoing. I will keep watching their pages, both episode 2 OP and these last 2 episodes OP, and make sure that nothing else happens. because this OP did try and commit suicide. So, yeah. Anywho, that's it for this episode of Threadheads. If you cried or yelled, what the heck, or what the fuck, or girl, please listen to us. At any point, go ahead, like, subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts in the comments, especially if you're on YouTube or Spotify. If not, you can visit my website. It will be on my link tree in my YouTube and my TikTok. But my site, for those who are just listening, because I don't have a domain name yet, is my-site-r19159cx-polyversepods, PAULAVERSEPODS.wix-vibes.com. You can leave a comment there. You can go to OP's Reddit, because I will be leaving a link to her Reddit for you guys there, so you can talk to her there. I don't know if she will respond to you, but you can try and get through to her. Many people have tried this past year, apparently, and it's taken her this long. But yeah, I just want her to see that she has a community, that she's not alone, so that way she doesn't try anything else again. So don't be shy. Leave a comment. Leave her a comment. Leave me a comment. Leave your thoughts in the comments below on my website, anywhere. Until next time, stay petty, stay curious, and remember, drama can always be found and served here. Bye.